Cleek up towards the edge of the box, curls a shot. Oh, what a goal! Cleek with a chance to score!
Into the penalty area. Chance for second score! Alexandra scores for Leeds! Private shot! Oh, my word! Rodrigo!
Fans back at Ellen Road, 5 Leeds goals to celebrate. Patrick and Calvin called up for England and now a trip to Turf Moor. It's been a busy week for Leeds United and this is the warm-up. Joining me today on the warm-up, Dom Matteo and also Kanisha Mae Underdown from Leeds United Women. We'll start with Everton. Dom, first and foremost, full house at Ellen Road, the thing we've been waiting for so long, in the Premier League as well, and a 2-2 draw. Just firstly, for anyone who wasn't lucky enough to be there, how special was it to be packed out?
Incredible, to be honest. Quite emotional, I think. I think a lot of people said that as well. It was just so good to be back with the full house, and the fans were definitely up for it. Even Everton were up for it. It was one of those games. It was two good sides, I thought. It was a decent match. But I think in general, going back to the first point about the crowds being back, the fans being back in, it was just amazing. It's great to speak to so many people, and the positivity around the place was great. You know, after such a tough couple of years everyone's had, just to have everyone back in and just enjoying it again. It felt like people had smiles on their faces for the first time in a while, and that's what football's all about. That's what it brings, isn't it? And that's what I love about it. And even though I got a bit of stick off the Everton fans, which I don't mind, it's great. That's what football's all about, you know. And I loved being back in that ground, and you know, being lucky enough to be in, you know, sat in a seat watching that game for the first time for a while for myself. It was amazing, and the fans made it again. And we know what they're like. The Leeds fans are bonkers, and they didn't disappoint. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, onto the game itself. 2-2 against Everton. Nisha, I mean, Leeds showed one of the characteristics that they've shown a lot under Marcelo Bielsa. And as a footballer, how important is it to be able to bounce back, firstly, from a defeat, but also in the game to come back from a goal behind and to do that on 2 occasions? It's so important to have that in your armoury.
Yeah, definitely. Like, on the weekend, we went 1-0, well, we were at 1-0 up, actually, and then we went to 1-0, and it's like that initiation of, oh my gosh, we were just, I don't know, we were on top, and I was like, everyone has to get together, just get it going again. You just got to get the whole momentum back in. And yeah, it's just the energy you just got to step it up. Energy has to be stepped up.
Yeah, well, they certainly do that under Marcelo Bielsa, and we've seen that over the past few seasons. In terms of the goals, Matthijs Klick weighing in with his first of the season. It was a great bit of play from Patrick Bamford, who we'll come on to later in the show as well, to set up Matthijs Klick, and of course Rafinha after that as well. But 2 really good goals.
They were brilliant goals, to be honest, and it was good to see Klick get another goal. I think he'll be an important player for us this year, because we know he can chip in with a few, and that's what we're going to need. We know where the goals usually come from Paddy over last year, but now other players are going to have to step up, like Luke Ayling, and Klick's done the same. And obviously Rafinha, with the performance he put out there as well, that was incredible. I mean, that was as good as I've seen for a while. Rafinha, I thought he was a constant threat. Took him maybe 10 minutes to get into the game, but once he got started, he was outstanding. And he is going to cause a lot of teams a lot of problems. And I think he's a lot cleverer than what I give him credit for on the football. He's got a really good football brain. Eddie Gray always talks about this football brain that people have. He's got one. And I think we're going to see so much from him this year. And I think he's the one that we're all excited to watch. You know, you talk to the fans, they're really excited about what he can bring. It's them skills, isn't it, that I never had and some people haven't got. You know, he's got that. And it's great to see that, because that's what gets bums on seats, and he certainly did that.
Loads of people watch Rafinha and they instantly think, really reminds me of how Dom Matteo used to play. I'm sure that's the first thing. The finish on that goal from Rafinha, a little laid back from Liam Cooper to get a little assist there as well. I mean, it's such a good finish, isn't it, from that angle?
Yeah. Do you know what?
I think for me personally, it's the weight of pass makes that easy for him. So when the ball's laid back to him, he doesn't have to think too much. The shot's away, it's a goal. And that's, for me, the weight of pass makes that goal. And it was a brilliant little move, and like you say, there was other people involved, but that strike was just so clean, so perfect. And like you say, I think it was the layoff that actually made the goal, the weight of it. I always talk about the weight of pass, you know yourself, the weight of pass is everything, because you don't have to think then, it's just whack and into the net, and no less than what they deserved. It's a brilliant goal.
Yeah, it was a draw to get the first point of the season in the league, and Kanisha, you know what it's like. You want to get the first win as quickly as you can. Leeds United women managed to do it in the first game of the season, which is great. Leeds United managed to do it in the League Cup on the other night against Crewe, 3-0. Yes, it's a cup game, but it's good to just get that winning feeling as quickly as you can.
Yeah, just to get the momentum going in the club, because obviously they lost against Man United, so to come back, to bounce back, it's definitely a must. You need it as a whole, as a club. You need that whole momentum to come straight back.
Yeah, and in terms of the game itself against Crewe, you know, a much lower league opposition, but a kind of really professional job and a job well done, again, with some really good goals.
Yeah, I think we're all shocked at the team we've seen when it first come out. It was like, oh, we're really going for it. But I think, let's be realistic, this is a trophy that we can win. And that's how I think Bielsa looked at it. I think we have picked strange teams over the last few years in this competition, but I think now this is something we can maybe target and maybe get some joy in, and we've certainly got the players to do that. And we haven't been very good in the cups over the years, but for me now, that's an opportunity, and we've seen by the team that he picked, that may be intent that, right, we're going to have a go at this year. Yeah, and
players chipping in with goals from different areas of the pitch, like you say, Jack Harrison getting off the mark with a couple of great goals as well. Patrick Bamford with an assist for him. One goal that was really, you know, from goalkeeper to goal within 15 seconds. That is what Leeds have been doing.
Yeah, I think there was some brilliant goals, and like you say, Meslier with his way through that. I mean, I couldn't do that with my dodgy shoulders, but that was an incredible throw, wasn't it? And made the goal. And I think, give Crewe some credit, they did really well for a period of time. They just tired, and obviously that's when Leeds dominated, but you've still got to do a professional job, and they did that. And that was a great thing I thought about that game. It's good to see Leeds perform so well, but also respecting their opposition, because that's important as well when you're playing a lower side team, is give them a little bit of respect. And we did, and we got our results and we got our rewards, even though they came late. We keep plugging away, and for me it was a good performance, and then we move forward into the next game, which is obviously against Burnley. Yeah, absolutely. And one player back on the Ellen Road pitch, getting in about 60 minutes as well, Adam Forshaw. And let me ask you both about injury and how devastating that can be for careers, and how much it must do for confidence, and how frustrating it must be to be injured. But Adam Forshaw out for 2 years pretty much, to come back and be on that pitch, to have that faith shown in him by Marcelo Bielsa as well. Amazing moment for him to finally get on there and get some proper minutes under his belt. Yeah, definitely. Me personally, I've never really had an injury like that, but I can imagine the energy and just how he must, I don't know, thrive, that he must want to get back out there. But not only that, I guess it might be a little bit, worrying at the same time. If you've had 2 years out, it's just that whole, I don't know, wow. But I'm looking forward to seeing it. Can't wait. Yeah, and how difficult is it, Dom, when you're out and you're watching everyone else train, you're watching everyone else play, and you're not a part of it? I think it's credit to him and to the staff that have obviously looked after him throughout his, his rehabilitation, if that's the right word. And I thought he's been an example to a lot of the young players as well. I think when you get an injury like that, you have a responsibility to talk to the young players, and it's a chance to talk to them and make them better. And I think Adam Forshaw is that person, good Scouse lad. And he talks so well, and I was so pleased that he got that game under his belt. And to be fair to him, he's one of the best players out there. He was excellent. I thought he grew as the game went on, and I think that'll be a real confidence booster for him and for the club, because he's putting himself in that window where he's saying to Marcelo Bielsa, I'm up for this, I'm ready to go. So credit to him, and credit to all the staff that helped him get into that, got him back to this position. Yeah, we talked about goals coming from all areas of the pitch. Patrick Bamford popping up with some assists, and then after signing the contract last week, involved very heavily in the games, really made the difference against Crewe, and then the call-up for England alongside Calvin Phillips as well. What a moment for him, what a moment for the club. Just really great, 2 players to be called up to the England squad. And there's suddenly players littered all over the place with some of the biggest teams internationally in the world, whether it be Spain or Germany, Brazil, England. It's amazing for Leeds United, isn't it? Yeah, I think it is, because just as a whole, obviously it was Calvin first, and now we've got 2 of them. I just think it's a step in the right direction, and hopefully we can get some more in there. But yeah, no, definitely a step in the right direction. Yeah, I think Paddy definitely deserved that, and for me, he's the one that is. I think he's been unlucky actually. He could have been involved in the Euros himself because he played that well. He's so integral to what Leeds do as well, because the work rate he puts in is just an example to any young player. Is Paddy Bamford. He works his socks off, and he gets his rewards, and a reward of playing for your country like I said, well overdue, and let's hope he gets game time, because for him to get a goal for England would be absolutely amazing. For the Leeds fans as well, not just for himself personally, because they've really got behind him. Because when he signed, the question marks were, can he score enough goals? Yes, he can. Can he create? Yes, he can. So for me at the moment, he's one that certainly deserves it, his opportunity, and let's hope he gets it, and with actually getting some game time for England.
And is he a good example of one of the hardest things for any footballer, which is being able to make the right decisions at the right time? You saw when he laid the ball off to Matthias Klick against Everton, you saw when he laid one off for Jack Harrison, and he's done that time and time again. He knows when to play the pass, he knows when to take the shot, and more than 9 times out of 10, he makes that correct decision.
I think you grow up as a player. I generally believe, you know, when I was younger, you make mistakes, you make the wrong choices. I think now we're seeing a more complete Patrick Bamford, where he's making good choices, and he knows the game now. You have to learn the game. It's a process having to learn the game, and as you get older, I'm not saying he's old or anything, no, sorry Paddy, but you know, it's kind of like he understands the game more, and I think that's the great thing, especially under Bielsa, is the understanding, knowing what to do in certain situations, not snatching at balls, laying balls off and people getting their rewards. So he's a very unselfish player, which I love, and I think for me he is the shining example. As I keep saying that about Bamford, because I really look at all the young players, and centre forwards are always, the fans love centre forwards who score goals, and I think he can do a bit of everything. So he's a more complete player now.
Still to come here on the warm-up, we'll be looking ahead to the Burnley clash at Turf Moor, also the 9-Dart Challenge with Patrick Bamford. That's on the way for you shortly as well. And if you want to be in touch with us, you want to be a part of the show, the hashtag to use is #TheWarmUp. Well, there's a full round of fixtures before the international break, and some pretty mouth-watering ties as well. Leeds going to Burnley, that's the one we care most about, but some ones that are definitely going to get people talking. Dom, here are your predictions as well. I just want to come to you first and foremost, because Arsenal obviously had a torrid time so far this season, and they have the unenviable task of starting things off away at Manchester City. Yeah,
never an easy game, is it, after they've been struggling a little bit. But I think with Arteta, he's a very clever young manager. When I say young, obviously he's still learning his trade, but I like the way he conducts himself, and I think he will try his best to get Arsenal back to where they be. But they're still a bit soft for me, being brutally honest. And I think against Man City, a team that can really put you to the sword, it's going to be a really difficult game. So defensively, they have to be better against Man City, because Man City are a team that can absolutely kill you very quickly in a game. So again, my only worries with Arsenal is defensively. Man City didn't have a brilliant result in the last league game, so for me personally, they need to get better. Pep Guardiola knows that himself, so it's all about being improvement. He likes the improvement, and he likes players to get better as the season goes on, because they started slow last year as well, Man City, and ended up winning the league quite comfortably. So that's the way I think it'll go again this year.
And also, Nish, just looking further on, the other one that really sort of stands out there, Liverpool at home to Chelsea as well. Both teams are 2 wins out of 2 so far, so something has got to give. Yeah, no, 2 good teams really up against each other. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, no, I don't really know how it's gonna go. But
probably a draw.
I think that's the easy option there. Yeah, we'll go for a draw. We'll just go for a draw. But no, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good game. Yeah, absolutely. And Liverpool, of course, the next opponents after the international break for Leeds. So both will be wanting to go into that with a win before the break as well. So those are the Premier League predictions for this weekend. You might also be thinking, scrabbling around to sort out your fancy football team in time for this match week. If so, and you're looking for some inspiration, some picks maybe, that might get you some extra points. Here's Luke with a few suggestions.
So here are my top 5 picks for your fantasy football team this week. Number 1, Aaron Cresswell. West Ham are sitting at the top of the table, and another 3 points against Crystal Palace this week is very possible. Cresswell managed 8 assists and 11 clean sheets last season, and with a goal already to his name, it's likely he'll pick up some more points this week. Number 2, Heung-min Son. Against newly promoted Watford, Son has a chance to grab himself a goal or 2, so make sure you don't leave him out of your team. Number 3, Jamie Vardy. After losing heavily to West Ham, Leicester will be looking to bounce back. And next up, against a team with a goal difference of -8 from 2 games, Vardy will be hungry for goals. Number 4, Patrick Bamford. The last time Leeds faced Burnley away, we hammered them 4-0. So who better to pick as your captain than a man who was involved in 61% of our away goals last season when selected? If you don't have Bamford in your team this week, what are you doing? And finally, number 5, Rafinha. He's in the mood for scoring goals. Rafinha managed 6 shots against Everton, which got him on the score sheet. And against the team we scored 4 past last time, chances are he will be on the score sheet this week too.
Well, Leeds put 4 past Burnley last time out in May at Turf Moor. Hopefully Rafinha and Bamford will be adding to that this time around as well. Dom, this is an important game, isn't it? When you look at how it's gone so far, we played Man United, it was a defeat to them. They're going to be right up there. We drew with Everton, we were around the same place last year. This is a game we want to win.
Most definitely. I think it's a good time to play Burnley at the start of the season. They don't start that well usually either. So, yeah, obviously they've got a threat. You know, Barnes is always a handful. We know Wood ex Leeds as well. He'll be up for that as he always is. But it's a game I think we're capable of winning. We have to start on the front foot and go straight at them, because the one thing about Leeds is I haven't seen us start that well yet. So I think that's the one thing that Marcel will be trying to bring in. Can we start better? Because I think the rewards will come then. Just about starting quick, getting on the front foot. So that's how I think the game will be won and lost. We start slow against them, give them a bit of confidence with the way they'll deliver their balls into the box. You know, the set pieces are huge for them. They've got some big players, and that's what they work on all the time. You know, in Sean Dyche a little bit, I wouldn't say he's a mate of mine, but you know, obviously played against him. So he's the kind of manager that will be talking about set pieces. And Leeds, we know at times, can be vulnerable on set pieces, so we will be working on that. So we have to be concentrated. Like you said, we got a brilliant result away there last year, so can we do that again? And I think sometimes when you play against a team who give you a bit of a going over, it does play in your mind that if someone's done you for, like they did to us, I think it does play on your mind that. So I think it's just, if we start well, then we can push forward.
Yeah, I mean, how does that work for you, Nish? You know, when you play a team, you've had a good result against them or maybe a bad result against them, does that sort of stick with you? Does it motivate you a bit more? I mean, it was 4-0, and although it's last season, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
It was towards the back end of the season, and Leeds played some amazing football in that game. Rodrigo was running riot by the end of it. How much does it play on your mind? How much is it an advantage to the team that won that game going into the next one?
I think, like, when you go into a game and you've lost, it's more of like do you know what? We've got to get one over on them. But at the same time, when you also go in and you come away with a win, it's more like we can't let that slip either. So either way, you should just be going in all guns blazing, really. But like, just like you said, back to you've got to start well. You can lose the game in the first 10 minutes. So if you don't start well, I don't know, you come in, start well, get the game done, see it out. That's how I see it.
Yeah, and of course Burnley on the back of 2 defeats as well. They won't want to make that 3. Having lost to Brighton, and then Liverpool, maybe a game that, you know, it's every so often you might get a result, but not that often. They're not going to want to make that 3 defeats in a row. They'll be going into this thinking, this is our first 3 points of the season. Yeah,
most definitely. And like you say, the Premier League's so tough, we all know that. I actually think Burnley might struggle this year. Looking at the teams and, you know, the way they've started, all right, we know they've got threats in, you know, corners and stuff. But for me personally, I think it's going to be a tough year for Burnley. Because, like you say, they've kind of, I don't know if they've lost that little bit of spark in their team. They've got a lot of players who know the game inside out, defensively very strong, but are they going to score enough goals? And I think they might struggle this year from my point of view. It's just my opinion, but I think it might be a tough year for them. And ahead of an international break, when everyone goes off in their different places and you've got quite a long time to mull on the previous result, how important is it to get a win? Yeah, when you go away after you've had a poor result, it does play on your mind. So it's important you get a win and then go and enjoy your time when you're away with your country, because it does niggle you a little bit, because I was always the worst for that. It's like it always sticks in your head till the next game. So it's important we get off to a good start, especially against Burnley, because I tell you what, they're always up for it. You know that. We know their capabilities because they're so solid. And like you said, Sean Dyche is very methodical in the way he likes his teams to play. And I tell you what, he'll be on their case, because he won't be happy with the performances he's seen so far. Yeah, well, ahead of the game, let's see what the fans think, because Jack from LUTV has been catching up with fans from both teams.
Welcome to another episode of the Fans Panel. After an entertaining week of football at Ellen Road, we look ahead to our fixture away at Turf Moor this Saturday. Today we're joined by Anthony and Liam, a Burnley and a Leeds fan. Gents, thank you very much for joining us.
First of all, Anthony, we'll come to you. A good result in the Cup this week against Crewe, a draw last week against Everton. Just two quick questions, really. Do you think we can have a bit of a Cup run this year? And also, did we deserve more than a draw last week against Everton? Liam, a tough start to the season for you guys at Burnley. 2 losses back-to-back in the league. A more uplifting result in the Cup for you as well against Newcastle. Obviously, you would on penalties. Do you think that'll be almost a kick-start to your season in the league this year and take the momentum from that game and push forward now?
To be fair, I actually thought we played pretty well in our first 2 games. At Brighton, we got the loss in the end, but we hit the woodwork like 2 times. First off was really all us, and they had a good last 50 minutes and made us pay. They were both clinical, 2 goals in the exact same way, pretty poor. I don't think we've won at home in I want to say 12 games or something mad like that, which is really wild because that is usually what keeps us up. And it's usually our away form that is our Achilles heel almost. So it's really weird how the roles are reversed because the next week face Liverpool away. I was expecting a 4-0 drabbing or something, 3-0, whatever else. And I thought we still, again, played pretty well considering it's Liverpool. At the first half, I thought we were actually same level. I thought that they had their 1 goal, but he had a lot of nice chances. Dwight McNeil he's more maturing into the player that we expect him to be, especially against Liverpool. Looked like a completely newfound confidence in taking players on. So even with a loss against Liverpool, I don't really take many. And there's no shame in losing to Liverpool, really, is it? Especially 2-0. And then Newcastle last night, 0-0 standard, literally the most boring game ever. But we got through, that's the main thing.
Anthony, looking ahead to the game this weekend, last time we played Burnley, we netted 4 past them, much to Liam's disappointment, as he's already mentioned. Do you think we can do the same again this week? Or if not the same, do you think we can take the 3 points?
We didn't care. We were already up. We literally could not give any less of a flag. We couldn't care. We always do it. We always just.
What's a successful season for you guys this year, do you think?
It depends on how you're looking by the end of the window. As of right now, we've got Maxwell Cornet from Lyon, which looks like it actually will be a done deal and it should be announced very soon. Apparently, he's I was kind of worried that the personal terms would be the main concern because really, you're trying to convince a 24-year-old lad to go from Lyon, top 3, top 2, whatever, biggest clubs in France to go to play for Burnley. That's going to be a hard thing to try and pull off. If you get some players in, two players in, I should say that we should be 14th because even though we're still Burnley and people think that, we should go down eventually, we're just eventually going to go down. As long as Sean Dyche stays, anything's possible.
I think all we need now is a score prediction from you both and how the game's going to go.
Remember, I was on there last time, and you had the other lad, and he was like, "We're gonna absolutely thrash them 4-0," and I think it actually was 4-0, something dumb. I was like, okay, so I'm kind of scared to come back on it because what happened last time. Honestly, I'm a Burnley fan. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, "Oh, you're gonna lose." So I would say 1-0 Burnley, but I can, if I'm being very unbiased, I think a draw, like a 1-1, could be also possible as well, or 0-0. But like, I'm not going to sit here and say that we're going to draw or lose. So I say 1-0 Burnley. But if that's the way that we're going to win, that'd be like the only way. I can't see us score more than 2 against the guys. I can't.
So that's the thoughts of the fans. I mean, Dom, it's interesting, you know, Burnley fan there saying, yeah, it is 2 defeats, but, you know, we've actually played all right. And like we said, one of them was to Liverpool. It would be silly to be complacent going into a game like that, knowing what Burnley have managed to achieve over the last good few years in the Premier League. Yeah,
you have to give him a lot of credit. A lot of that is down to Sean Dyche. But like you say, a couple of injuries and stuff, I do generally think they would struggle, but they've got a system of playing. Will they change that system at all to play a bit more free-flowing football? Probably not. So probably Sean Dyche is going to stick to what he does, and the team kind of knows how to play that way. But I think at times that can go against him, because you have to make a change when certain things aren't going right for you, and that's what Burnley haven't been good at over the last few years, is changing it at the right time. I know they've stayed up and they've had some good years and they've done really well, but when I look at that squad now, it hasn't got the depth that I think, you know, you talk about the signings. There's hardly any money being spent, and I think it will be difficult for them.
Just looking to Leeds United women, you've got 3 games in the space of a week, which is a lot of football to play. 1 away game this Sunday, and then 2 at home against Barnsley and Liverpool Feds as well. So what kind of shape is everyone looking and going into those, and you're feeling confident after 1 win and 1 defeat so far?
Yeah, we're feeling confident. So the loss on the weekend, we didn't deserve to win at all. Sometimes it's like, it is what it is. You don't turn up on the day, but we know how it feels to take a loss, and we just make sure that don't happen again. But no, 3 games on the bounce. Like, we're looking forward to it. We're very sharp. We're fit. We just need minutes, lots of minutes. Get us playing together. But yeah, no, each and every one of us.
What's the team spirit like at the moment?
Yes, it's really high. Like, everyone's just bants flying left, right, and centre. But you know, we love the bants. But no, it's good. It's really good.
Well, as we've already mentioned, it's been a big week for Patrick Bamford with the international call-up. But the most exciting thing he's done this week, of course, is take on the 9 Dart Challenge.
Welcome back to the 9 Dart Challenge. Today we're joined by a very special guest, a first team player, our number 9, Patrick Bamford. Patrick, how are you, mate?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, not bad, thank you, mate. Obviously, a good result the other night in the Cup against Crewe.
Yeah.
Got assists for yourself, and obviously we're into the next round against Fulham. We've been drawn. How far do you think we can go this year in the Cup?
Hopefully a few places further now than last year. But we'll see. I think that it's something that we should try and look to go as far as we can. Really.
Definitely, it'd be good for the fans to go far in the Cup, definitely. Are you any good at darts, Patrick? That's the main question.
It depends who you put me up against.
If I'm putting you up against, well, so far on the leaderboard we've got Bridie Hannon, who's the Leeds United women's captain. She did okay, I would say, not amazing, but do you think you'll pip her to the top spot at the moment?
I'm going to be honest, no, probably not.
You've got to be confident with your ability.
We'll see.
Patrick, do you want to make your way up to the hockey and we'll see how you do?
Pat the Postman Bamford.
First 3, Pat, see what you got. 25, good start. 18. Triple 20, I'll tell you what, I think you've already beat Bridie's score already there.
Take that.
103.
Yeah.
Not a bad start, is it? 19. 20. Flying here, Pat.
Oh, that was poor.
And 12. I'm pretty sure you're top of the leaderboard already, mate.
I've got to get over 200, yeah.
Last 3. 20, just off triple.
Oh, what a waste. What a waste. Oh, no.
He's crumbled at the end. 174 you finished on.
Yeah.
Take that.
That's all right. I do. Better than I expected.
Dom, we've got a couple of questions for you, if that's all right.
Great, no problem.
As always, Chris in Nottingham, who was told he could ask a question, has asked 3 questions in 1 question. So here you go, try and follow this. With the atmosphere we've seen at Ellen Road in the 2 games so far, how many points are the crowd worth this season? And as a player, how crucial is the atmosphere when you're focused on the task of winning games? And can you let yourself get used to the crowd to use it to your advantage?
You better give me one at a time.
All right, so we'll start off. How many points are the crowd worth this season?
Well, I think for not being biased, because obviously I love my time at Leeds and still do love working with the club now. it's massive, isn't it? Let's be honest. They are one of the best, or if not the best. And the fan base is growing as well. So I think that I generally think it could be. Oh, if you put me on the spot there, I'd say probably could be 12 points for me.
12 points, as much as that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because even when we went behind against Everton, the fans had got us back into it. You know, Bielsa made a few changes and they got us back into the game. So yeah, I generally believe the crowd is so important for us, and it's a massive part of our culture as Leeds fans and as the Leeds player. Is that to have that alongside you? Is that bit of grit as well to get back into games?
Yeah, special mention to the fan in the Kop rubbing his belly when Calvert-Lewin was taking
That'll be me soon, that.
The penalty. Yeah, Dom, just stay out of trouble, please. And just to follow up with that, how crucial is the atmosphere when you focus on the task of winning games, and can you use that crowd to your advantage?
Yeah, of course, 1,000,000%. Yeah, when you've got a fan base like us, the players all know that and they feed off it. And we've seen that with the comeback. And like you say, with the players we have and the talent we have within the squad, we're a unit, but we know we've got special players that can win games. You know, Rafinha's awesome at that, isn't he? He can win games on his own at times. But I think the collective unit as a team, for me, that's the key thing for me. If we play together as a team and we have these sprinklings of brilliance of other players, that's the winning formula. So for me, stick together, get Rafinha and players like that on the ball all the time, and that's how I think we'll go on and win games.
Okay, one more question for you. Sarah from Wakefield. Dom, remember, the warm-up is the hashtag if you want to send anything in. Sarah says, I sit on the first few rows of the East Stand and can hear Luke Ayling's always talking on the pitch. When you were at Leeds, which of your teammates never shut up?
Oof. I'd probably say myself, but as you can see now, I'm always talking. No, at Leeds, gosh, I think I was a talker, because I think sometimes when you haven't got the quality that some of the other players had, I was an organiser and talker and tried to get the players together. I was quite vocal on the pitch. Gary Kelly was one at Leeds who was obviously a character, but very vocal. Ollie DeCourt, I'm going to throw a little name in there, he didn't like getting beat, so he was always vocal. He'd tell you if you've had a nightmare, which he didn't mind. Where you've got the other players, you know, like the Chief, Lucas, people like that, who led by example. But it's good to have that right mix, and I think at Leeds when I was there, we certainly had some talkers, and if things weren't going right, the lads would have a go at you. A few times, me and Smithy, Alan, we used to, be fighting between ourselves in training because it meant that much to us, but we all wanted to win, and I don't mind that. As long as it's squashed straight away, that's what you need.
Well, there you go. Any questions? The warm-up, and you can be a part of the show as well. Kanisha, good luck with the games coming up, the 3 games.
Thank you.
Dom, pleasure as always. Thank you. And cheers for watching. This has been the warm-up. It's Leeds United travelling to Burnley, and your commentary team for Leeds United TV will be Bryn Law and Tony DeRigo. Enjoy the game.